How are you doing today? I hope you are as excited as I am for this game between GG Revnek and JulianK playing for the top 5 placements on the ladder. Revnek already has one of his accounts on the top 5, whilst Julian is behind. He is on the 2nd place playing as the French, while Revnek is of course playing as Portugal, trying to abuse them as much as he can, playing the strategies which bring him the most LP. Now, can Julian keep his 2nd place? He was 1st on the ladder a few days back, but Phoenix, on who I casted the game on, did manage to break through all of the other contenders and make it to the 1st place. And JulianK is playing as the French, going for a training post. We might see a h3 play from him. He has not selected his deck yet, getting a food treasure. Maybe he will go for a 10. Yeah, he has no villagers on food. He will get that 100 food in. We'll take his native scout and help out dealing with the plague doctor. And this scout has a pretty knife here. Look at that knife. No, that's a knife. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Let's see. What kind of deck is it being? 1v1 water. He only has 2 careful shipment and 1 frigate shipment. There are no other cards in his deck to deal with water play. Now will Ravna go for any water play? He's also going for a very fast age up to the age of 2. Look. Spreading his villagers onto all of the mooses here. Killing them instantly. Not even sending 1 or 2. No. He's sending out 0 villagers to get some hunts closer to his town center. He's not doing that. He's just gobbling up the food as fast as he can to get to the 2nd age, to get to the 3rd age, and get this also important shipment of food, wood, coin, organ guns, a frigate. Now he does have some Portuguese white fleet. And look at that, navigation schools. All warships are cheaper and trained faster. And we do have rendering plants. Also picking up 35 food. Is aging up. Now let's see how Julian is doing. Is aging up a little bit behind. Even though he sent 3 couriers. He has 12 villagers. Well, he has a bit more since these guys are worth 1.25 villager. So he should be aging up faster, but he's not. JulianK is not aging up faster. But in the long run, maybe he will be able to gather more resources. But then again, Revnek can get more town centers as he ages up and build more villages, so he has quantity over quality. And this, by the looks of it, will definitely be a h3 play. I hope it is a h3 play. Maybe it is a... No, it's definitely a h3 play. I don't think that this villager will build any barracks or stables forward. Getting some nice coin. Julian will like that. Maybe get on a market. Hopefully we will see a market. Some hunting dogs. Placer mines. But getting 2 trading posts up. So he did take this trading post so that Revnek can't take these 2 trading posts and upgrade them to stagecoach and get resources. So Revnek does have to siege this down. to have the full benefit. Likely won't happen. Maybe the later stages it will be siege down, but I don't think any of the plays will go for a stagecoach play. Maybe Julian will get another train post here, get a house down, get a train post up, sending in 700 wood first. Maybe this will be a training post angle. Could definitely be one. And we see an upgraded galley here from this train post, which delivers resources by a galley. Oh, they are separate. Oh, my bad. So these two are separate. But he could take this one also. And sending in 4 couriers. Courier de Bois I've been sending. Now let's see what Gigi Revnik is doing. Getting some nice resources. And we'll gobble up that coin pretty shortly. He has a bit of downtown here with his settlers. Just a bit. But look at that hunt management. And gathering up the cow. Getting food ever so slightly faster in. Did get one town center and basically he will age up as soon as this town center is built. He is getting treasures in still. So 1 coin and 40 XP. And will he make it to 99? He did not. Take his villager off coin. He's still gathering a bit of a overgather here. But that's such a small amount. And he will age up here. Julian is not even near the age of to the age 3. But he is gathering very nicely here from his elk. His villagers are very nicely placed here. And by the looks of it, he's going to put all of his villagers onto food. Because food is the fastest gathering resource. And all of his other... Oh no, he's getting XP from this carol. Okay. Maybe we'll send another shipment. No. No shipments. No. We do see a coin shipment. Interesting. Even though he has stagecoach, he did decide to go for a 700 coin play. Yeah, 3 shipments in H2. Maybe this will... Oh, it will definitely hinder his XP curvature, so he won't have that many available shipments in the H3. But I really like this play. And he did manage to siege down this training post with a couple of pikemen. So I think it was worth for him to go for that play. Now, even though he's getting in 700 coin, he does put villagers onto the coin mine. And that's because so they don't stay idle here. He wants to prioritize getting as many resources as he can. Even though he will overgather a bit of coin here, his villagers will not be idle and he will still use up that coin next stage. And Revnek should be the H3, yes. He is rebuilding his training post here. Nice. Gunpowder infantry. That's a nice shipment for Portuguese. And he did send both of the 700 coin and wood. Getting some dragoons, sending 5 dragoons. Now this is a very interesting matchup. Both of these civilizations have some good cavalry. Of course, the Portuguese have better dragoons. And when they get upgraded, but he does not have, he only has dragoon combat. He does not have the order of Avis. So he's not going for an H4 play by the looks of this. And that might be a mistake. We shall see how he will adapt his playstyle to JulianK. And I think JulianK is in a very, very strong position. He got away with booming. And he should not let Portugal, French go away with the boom. With such a strong boom, could be very, very dangerous for Portuguese. I mean, in turn, forgetting his train post siege down, Revnek is taking JulianK's train post down. So 1 for 1. And he started to siege down Julian's training post here. But this could be a very, very nice timing for JulianK. All of this resource gathering, all of these upgrades for his villagers are starting to come in. Of course, Revnek is also in a very good position. He has... Oh, Julian has more villagers. Interesting. And Revnek has a bit of a bigger dragoon mass. But still, I think Julian is in a very commanding position. He has some nice map control, a forward barracks here, some trading posts. Yeah, and it gives him a lot of line of sight with which he can get information and adapt to Revnek's playstyle. And look at the amount of dragoons Revnek has. Now this could be a bit dicey for Julian. If he goes full skirmishers, he might get countered by a hussar switch. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on Revnek a bit. He's going for Cazadores. Now keep in mind, even though Julian is sieging down Revnek's TC, he's still producing resources, and it is giving him time to boom with his two other town centers. Did take this train post down, and getting this caravel down will be a bit hard, since he doesn't have boats of his own and doesn't have artillery as of yet. And keep in mind, skirmishers and dragoons are very low. They have a very low siege, and he did lose his explorer. And this could be a very, very nice timing. Here we go. Here are the Minutemen. Main Minutemen, Cazadores, 3 organ guns. Could be very, very dicey here for JulianK. Will Revnek send his... No, he did send them here. That's nice. They could take a lot of damage from these skirmishers if JulianK is not paying attention. Is he paying attention? He's not paying attention. Run, Julian! Ooh, but his dragoons will take so much damage. And Revnek loses nearly all of his organ guns. Oh no. He's not rebuilding his town center. Ooh, 2 falconets. Now, in my opinion, Julian did win this quite nicely here. The dragoons might just go for the falconets in melee combat. And they get thrown to pieces. And they do manage to take 1 falconet down. Now sieging down the town center. And still keeping this 1 falconet alive this whole time. And remember, we saw no raids being done from either players. Did try to snipe this falconet down with a couple of Minutemen here. That's a nice play. But will it be enough? Will he just put his dragoons into melee combat and destroy the falconet? He doesn't even need to do that. And dragoons are going into melee combat onto the Cazadores. Now do keep in mind they have a bit low HP. The skirmishers have. But they do still counter dragoons. And now sending in halberdiers. Julian does, by the looks of it, not have a reinforcing batch. And is rebuilding his town center. Very, very smart play from Ragnak here. And we can see a reinforcing batch of dragoons and skirmishers. And I think Julian should have more resources than Ragnak. Let's see. Yeah, I think... Ooh, it's... tough spot, tough to call it. Very tough to call it. Now, do keep in mind, I definitely think Julian has the map control here. Even if he loses this train post, he still has a bit better map control, a bit safer control of the hunts and even coin mines, I would like to think. Now, you could say this coin mine is very well protected by this town center, this barracks, couple of houses here, and of course this first town center. Now, he did persuade Revnik to not take down his train post, which is nice, keeping that training post alive, getting some more wood in. And he did not go for the train post again here. That's a nice play from Julian. He doesn't want to lose his wood there, since he knows that the caravel will siege his train post down again. And by the looks of it, we have a cure switch. 3 cures are being built. Ooh, and going for some walls. Maybe he's anticipating the cuirassier switch. Look at that, 6 gendarmes, 9 gendarmes, oh my god. That will be a very, very strong play here, and maybe a deciding switch coming out of Julian. Now remember, no raids are being done here. And slowly but surely, Revnek is increasing his villager count and is increasing his resource gathering. And slowly he will outgather Julian. He just has to connect here. Julian has to connect here. He can't let Revna get away with this. He has to commit here, I think. He doesn't have any more minutemen coming out of this town center, so could be a safe play here to go for this. He decides to go for the walls. He could go for this. Look how exposed these Cazadores are. And will he go for it? Will they connect? I think he was just a bit too slow here. Just a tiny bit. 2 cuirassiers do go down. And the third one goes down. The fourth one goes down. The fifth one goes down. He only has 7 more. He needs to take care of these halberdiers. He just has to put his just put them in melee. Don't run away. Cures are strong, and they are very strong. They can't deal with this. Just use your skirmishers to target these dragoons. Yeah, but Revnik does have a bigger mass of Cazadores, and they can't stand up to the skirmishers here. And Revnik does manage to pull ahead here. Maybe Julian should have waited for Portugal to commit a bit on his side of the map, and use his villagers as meat shields. Now, he does have 2 town centers of his own. He's making some villages, but this fight could be the deciding one. And we did not see a hussar switch coming out of Revnek. But look, he is sending in the Portuguese White Fleet. He's starting to put down some dogs. So he is seeing that he does not have any deer, any mooses. They have all been hunted down. The food is very, very fast, dwindling down. And he will take this, but we have a fight here. A bit of a skirmish between the skirmishers and the cazadores. And look at that, the remass of dragoons. And only now getting a rendering plant. Oh my god. Let's quickly see what kind of... they are a bit even here. Even though I think Julian had the market upgrades a bit faster here. Now Revne going for some walls. I really, really like that. Oh, look! Julian did remake 2 of his falconets here to continue with the push. Take down this TC would be very, very good for Julian. Even more open the map for him. Enable him to maybe to go for some raids onto the villagers. Let's see how... Yeah, Julian is also running out of food. He needs to seal this game or Portugal will pull ahead here. Look, he's starting to make some boats. He has 3 dogs, so that's like 12 fishing boats. But that's not a lot. Needs to make 1 more dog here. Get some more dogs, get some more food income. Look, the mooses are dwindling here. And slowly but surely they will go down. But so will his town center. His town center will also go down. Now he's taking some damage to the falconet. Actually, more than half of the HP of the falconet is gone. And no, he won't take it down. He will not be able to take it down. I would like to see a priest being sent. Does he have any church? No, unfortunately, Julian does not have a church to heal up his falconet, or his skirmishers, or his goons. It won't be that bad of a play here to go for that. And look how Revnek is adapting. He is sending in guild nets, sending in rendering plants. Remember, there are only 30 wells here, so that's 12 boats on the coin. But it will take a very, very long while to get these coin mines depleted. He still has his first coin mine up. Finally, we see a raid. Look at that, man. Look at that gendarme go on to these settlers. One of the best raiding cavalry units in the game. Could be very, very... He needs to be careful. He needs to protect his falconets. Be careful, Julian. Be very, very careful. And you will lose this falconet. 2 more shots. 1 more shot. And it goes down. And Revnek is winning the culverin fight. Very, very nicely. Well played from him. Just 1 culverin. That's all you need. Have it in a good position. And he does have... Where the... Wait, there are some organ guns in here. Look at them. Hidden behind the trees. Such a smart play here. Such a smart here. From JulianK. Adapting with the fishing boats. Sending and upgrading them. Look, he's even getting long lines. And this is a highly good strategy coming out of Revnek. I don't like Julian's position here. I really don't like it. Maybe he himself should have gone for Portugal, since they are very strong on the water map. But he is sending in 1 frigate. He's anticipating that Revnek has to be getting food from somewhere, and that's not from mills. And look, 5 gendarmes. Oh my god. Yeah, so he will have 10 gendarmes once they hit the field here. 14, no, 13 of them will be made. Oh no. That could be doom for Revnek. He just needs to commit here. Just commit here, Julian. And I think it will go good for you. But not onto the... Oh no. Oh, these dragoons are being snared here. 5 more come into the play. But there's still a nice amount of dragoons for Revnek. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. And remember, these culverins are a bit exposed here. Looks like Julian will win this fight and Revnek has nowhere to go with these cazadores. He is winning this engagement, but remember, Julian is on a clock here. He definitely is on a clock. But he's making some boats of his own, making some docks of his own. Sending in 2 caravels, but in response, Revnek is building organ guns. And he is losing a sizable amount of his infrastructure and his settlers. Look, Julian is sending in a frigate, sending in improved warships. Now where are they? Okay, 1 frigate is here being protected by 2, not 1, but 2 outposts. Julian is taking a commanding lead here. Taking control back onto the water. Taking and keeping land control from the first minute. Taking all these boats here. And even the Coureur de Bois is pushing in with the warships. Having 2 frigates. Oh my god, there's no entry building his trading post with 3 Coureur de Bois. And like I said, these culverins are very exposed here. Look, he only took 1 dragoon and put him into melee to keep the culverins slow. And so that the other dragoons can catch up to it better. And Revnek will win definitely this. Yeah, this little skirmisher is won by Revnek. Maybe JulianK invested a bit too heavy into navy. Now sending in 100 coin. Let's look at the water play. Keep an eye onto this frigate. It goes down. Ooh, but he does have... Yeah, that's not a fight you want to take, Julian. Nearly all of his dogs are with a ranged attack here. And yeah, you will lose that. You need some culverins. You should have taken culverins. Put them here. And help you take down this dog line. So he lost 2 caravels, 1 frigate. He made 1. So again, he put resources into that. He could even go for a battleship. Wait. This is the... which gives you a battleship, right? Yep. But you need to spend 1,500 resources. Now this dog will get down. Look, he's having to switch on to mills, of all things. And look at that, instead of... Ooh, Revnek has 2 frigates. Oof. And there is a slight pause from the players. And the action is back here. Oh, look at the amount of boats which are stationed here. Revnek is going straight for the Julian's frigate and taking it down in one go. Now all of Julian's infrastructure is exposed here. His Coureur de Bois are busy building outposts here, but I don't think they will be made in time. He needs 2 or 3 more of them to be able to make a stand here against these 2 frigates. Now making 1 frigate of his own, having 2 outposts here. Ooh, 1 more shot here. Nicely played here by Julian, getting the outpost in time. And maybe he should get some walls and start getting them around here. Just so that Revnek has no way of getting to his base. Even putting out some walls here. Just so that he secures his spot here. But look, again, Julian is going for the push. He is asserting his map dominance. 25 villages in this town center are being idled. And another frigate goes down for Julian. Look, improved armor plating going in for Revnek. So that's a very, very committed water play. 85 villagers. Look at that. Of which are 58 settlers. He is going for another mill here. He really needs the food. He does have a coin mine here. He did finally get this coin mine down. But look, another skirmish. Not a skirmish, but a full-blown fight here. Organ guns are coming into the fray from Revnek. Could make the deciding play here. If they pop from this side, they could be very, very exposed to the dragoons here. He's taking his dragoons to cover them. Maybe he can put them here near the tree line. Maybe Julian does not see this. Maybe he's focused on the water play here. Oh yeah, 1 organ gun did manage to get a shot in. And losing both of his dogs here. I don't think that Julian is happy with this position. Even though he pushed, he did lose a sizable amount of his army, and he did lose his forward navigational base here. And now sending in 5 more Coureur de Bois, to get 2 more trained outposts down. And these are fortified outposts, and they do deal better with boats, but he needs to repair those. Now remember, these naval battles might not be that crucial, since if he can keep the map control, he can get some culverines, put them here, and they will take down nearly every boat that Revnek has. And Julian, even though he's losing fights, he's constantly pushing into Revnek's base. He did take 2 organs down, basically for free. And these gendarmes would just commit onto the dragoons and would likely win this fight since they have no melee resistance. And now switching up with halberdiers. And that's the, in my opinion, correct play here. Now the cuirassiers are dwindling and Julian's covering does go down. Yeah, Revnek does win this engagement here. But remember, his villagers were not gathering. Well, not all of his villagers were gathering, getting down even 1 more mill, because he knows there are no more fish to be gathered from. The only fish are located here at Julian's base. Look, he's getting even more fortified outposts, and that's one way how you can deal with the water boom. And that's because this map is very narrow, has very narrow water, and you can get away with building outposts. They do cover a lot of ground here, and they make short work of boats. Of course, using one culverin and one priest here could be also a nice addition. Julian even got this native training post here. Let's see what kind of tech he's getting. Oh, their balloon. Okay, gather rate increased. He did not get the torps, he did not get the battleship. He's going for an H4 play. So he did push. He did remass his army. He lost his army with which he pushed. Look, getting even more infrastructure down. I really like that. And he will be able to remass here. Now, at this stage of the game, I would really like for him to go for some wall play. Just remove the possibility of Revnek being able to get back into the game. Don't let him get to your economy. Look. This galleon will be taken down so fast by these 5 outposts. Not 1, 2, but 5 outposts are here. Maybe this one will get down, but for a galley, I don't think that's worth it. 400 resources, one galley, but 2 more galleys are taking its place, and the one galley does survive. Just needs to... Ooh, look at that. Veteran dragoons are going into the frenzy. Now, even though these are not upgraded, now they are upgraded, and we have guard or voltigers coming out of French. A high level matchup. Finally, we have a high level matchup on our hands. Julian is on max villagers. Wow, Revnik is actually winning this. And we did not even catch this raid which Julian is doing. A lot of villages were gathering from this mine and they were put into outposts and now they are gone. Ooh, Julian tried to make some more. Nice. He is making more outposts. Imagine how stressful it is to play this matchup. I'm having a hard time getting all of the action here as I'm casting, but playing this, that requires a lot of RPM, a lot of decision making. But both these players have that. A couple of hussars coming out of Revnek, and just in time for Julian to gather up this coin mine and get his villagers to safety. Now that's why I would have liked for Julian to have a wall, to have a safe place for these skirmishers and dragoons. Because the hussar switch came in here with only 5 hussars, but still they did some damage. And now it's Ravnik's time to get onto the offensive. Does have a nice amount of food here. Julian might not need to use his villagers here. Maybe they would be definitely better used on gathering resources. And we have now pause here. The fight continues. Reinforcing skirmishers are here. 11 of them could make a difference against these veteran dragoons, veteran cazadores. Now this mill is so asking for getting destroyed and raided. Should have put it a bit safer position. There's still a lot of space behind this But it is time to do some raiding for Ravnak, and he is doing it. There's no coin income. He can only make pikemen as of now. If he decides not to sell his resources, look the amount of... yeah, he lost 14 couriers. God, dragoons are in. But getting raided like that, that's not a nice position. And could lose his... don't lose it! Don't lose... just in time. That was so crucial that he got that down. It will have a nice amount of HP, so it won't be siege down. Look, he's just making couriers. Courier the boss. He needs to get some dragoons. Just spam dragoons. You have better dragoons than Revnek does. You can win it. Even though Cazadores counter dragoons, still he can win it. And look, Revnek is in the need for some population space, and he has to delete his fishing boats since there are no more fish to be gathered from. Look, even though he has all of the naval control, but look how much Julian lost here. And Revnek himself got to the industrial age. Like I wanted to say, he lost more than 30 villagers. And that's why even high elo players, in my opinion, have to use walls. Not using walls, even though they are 1,500 hit points, just use them. For the time it takes to take them down, you can do some damage to the raiding cavalry. Because once you start not making any final, like, I don't know, am I a whisperer? Like a high elo whisperer? He did realize I don't want to lose my villagers. I want to win this game. I need to put some walls down. And he did decide to do that. I like that. Now, even though torps gather from coin mines, just get them. Put them onto the tree line. Get some more wood income. It will do you some wonders. Now let's see the villager count. 86. But yeah, Julian is having a tough time to siege down or raid Revnek's base. But Julian has a problem here. He's not Revnek. He doesn't have a million of town centers. He does not have a tightly protected base here. He can be very easily raided, and Revnek knows that, and he is doing that with 2 monitors. He's going in with 2 monitors. Looks like the naval control is not that trivial here. And putting in outposts now won't help you that much. You need some culverines, even monitors. Look, Voltigeurs are raiding here a bit. Let's keep that in mind. We have no raids in Julian's base. And Voltigeurs are connecting here. They will take down all of these mass. Look, veteran status for dragoons, but we do have guard cazadores, but still. Voltigeurs, once they reach into range, they beat cazadores. We only have 1 outpost here. This little raiding party did get taken down. Even though we have a frigate here, an upgraded frigate, a very upgraded frigate here, Julian still managed to pull ahead here. And look at these bad boy monitors here. Even getting in heavy cannons against warships. Yeah, look. Like I said, you need culverins, and like he's listening to me. My god, and we completely missed this raid here. And that's because he did not prioritize building a wall. take 3 or 4 villages, who cares about some idle time? You're risking idle time, not getting a couple of more resources for losing 30 villagers. Don't do that. Now, if I was playing as Revnik, I would have lost it in the 10th minute. But still, there are some improvements here, definitely. But it does take a lot of dexterity to play a 40-minute game to this level of, it takes some dexterity to keep all of your attention for 40 minutes, clicking all around the map, microing your army, macroing and microing, making the right decisions. No upgraded dragoons yet. We do have nearly all of the upgrades being sent out of Revnak. Julian, by the looks of it, did not send all of his upgrades as of yet. There's only 2 upgrades as of now. And I guess he does not need this. Oh, ranged infantry combat could be very good for him here. Look, monitors did try and raid here. And I think Revnek lost both of his monitors, yeah. That's because of the Culverines. Well done. And look. Like I'm whispering to him, even though I'm not with him there. I'm telling him, build Culverines, he does it. Build walls, he does it. And look, he even upgraded his monitors to howitzers. And they will make short work of everything in his base. Nothing will be left standing here. Look, even with this engagement here, getting Culverin Royal with cheese are winning against heavy Culverins. Look, he is even getting in frontier outposts. And these outposts have been built and rebuilt a countless amount of times here. But these fishing boats are still gathering coin here. That's 1 plus for Revnek, having a steady supply of coin. But his infrastructure is being sieged down very, very slowly here. Even getting in the native training post again. Maybe he will go for a trade monopoly. Let's see. A Royal Guard Oldenburg. A League of Armed Neutrality. What does this give him? Ooh. Fast hunting and fishing. That's nice. Hard to send. But basically, I think that's a 1 game for JulianK. Even if he loses all of his mass, I definitely think he can remass. He's even getting in Northern Guard Musketeers. They will join the fight very, very shortly, and these Musketeers are no joke. I'm telling you, they are no joke. 200 hit points, 39 hit points. They are a bit slower than the regular Musketeers, but still very strong. And finally getting in a circular saw. Now, this stage... Does he have... What? But let's look at the fight here. The deciding fight of the century. Julian doesn't even have any artillery from Revnik to counter. There are no Culverins, no Falconets. 1 Culverin is going... But it is only a Culverin, it's not with cheese. Look, the Musketeers are firing here nicely. with 14 range, and that's game. In a couple of minutes, Julian will concede this game. The only way he wins it if Julian deletes his army a couple of times here. But we are seeing a counter raid by mortars. Counter outposts are being built, but they are only unupgraded. Dragoons are connecting here. Legion of Dragoons are connecting onto the mortars. And guard Cazadores are having a ward here with the Voltigeurs. But his coin income is dwindling here. And if mortars connect to this one factory, then to the second one, could be very, very dicey. Look, they can even get promotions in. 250 hit points. And I think behind this, I won't even look at it for now. Let's just focus on the fight, but I think Julian is remassing again. And he will remass very, very strongly here. Like I said, at this stage, once your economy starts to dwindle, you're basically done. The fights are not that important. Once you get a good economy at 40 minutes, you could just spam your infantry, send them somewhere. Yeah, look at this remass of cuirassiers. We have 15 cuirassiers. How will you deal with them? These are guard gendarme cuirassiers. You can't win against that if you don't have a sizable amount of dragoons. You need legio dragoons. Not 5 of them, you need 15 of them. Yeah, and that's game. He did bring back his villager count to 80 villagers. But look at this dangerous fortified outpost position here. He does have one factory down. But we did not catch one of his 2 factories did go down. And that's because at first Revnek did see that Julian was desperately, very desperately trying to build a factory. His factory wagon was being attacked, and he just got it built in the nick of time. But Revnek did see his factory placement, and you can't place anywhere else your factory once you place it. And so he took his monitors and he did take the one factory down. Now this one, he could get to it. He could get to it if he had line of sight. He could definitely do it. With the Imperial upgraded mortars, he could have done it. But unfortunately for him, he did not make it in time. But look at this reinforcing batch of 10. And I'm sure, yeah, he made more of them. 80 villagers versus 74. And 12 of them are fishing boats. Yeah, he had nowhere to run to. He played it like a bit of a turtle play from Revnek. But Julian with the map control, and these 2 train posts have been running constantly. This train post was not even once taken down, I think. It was constantly gathering, even though Revnek had this DC here. He did not take it down. And we had the whole time, since the beginning of the game, we had Julian had a steady supply of resources here. Mainly put it onto what I think. Oh, he did switch it to coin. Yeah, I know that he had it sometime for coin, but maybe he did switch it up for some wood gathering. Look, he has over 1000 wood. He could have even gone for a revolt. but such a commanding position here. Now he did lose a lot of resources onto the water here. Even though he lost it, he did win in the sense that not Julian, but Revne committed very heavily to the water, and he did throw a lot of resources here. He made like 4 monitors and lost both, not both, but 4 of them. So that's a lot of resources down the drain. Julian did like build 4 or 5 frigates, but Julian also built that same or even more amount of frigates. Still a very great game to cast. Let's look quickly for the. No, let's not. Let's look at it. So yeah, Julian was a hit here. Very nice play here, guys. Thank you for watching.